Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 413 based on novel. So let's start. Melting it for me. Looking at the three globs of liquid escaping from the flaming cauldron, Xiao Yan had long expected that the amber flames would turn into giant nets of flames, covering it directly and suppressing it, making it unable to move in the slightest. Can only let Xiao Yang swing. Wang buzzing. No matter how they struggled, the terrifying repulsion force was pressed down by Xiao Yang. After a while, the three groups of liquid suddenly became quiet, and began to fuse under Xiao Yang's delicate control. At the same time, with the beginning of Xiao Yang's fusion, the entire sky became quiet, and there were no problems along the way. It was as easy as grasping it. The fusion of Dan did not last long. After a few hours, in the whole small world, looming Dan incense swept out from the huge flame cauldron in front of him, and in the sky, a golden arc of light appeared first, and they were like raindrops. After the dripping, the whole world trembled abruptly. After the breath, the sky was covered with dark clouds, and pieces of terrifying thunderclouds slowly formed. What kind of Dan Lei is this? Xiao Yang couldn't help but separate out a trace of his mind. He paid attention to the terrifying thunderclouds in the sky, swallowed hard, and looked at the sky in amazement. In the vast sky, pieces of pitch-black thunderclouds shrouded the entire sky, causing this small world to be torn apart by such terrifying thunderclouds. In the thundercloud, a trace of golden thunder arc appeared extremely tyrannical, and even with that kind of power, Xiao Yang had a rare heart palpitation. No bones left. What is the Dan Lei produced by the immortal rank 6th grade heaven rank medicinal pill? Xiao Yang thought. My good fellow, it's actually the most terrifying 9 profound magic lightning among the immortal rank alchemists. And this guy's technique of melting pills is extremely skilled, and his potential is terrifying, not only at the 6th rank heavenly level. Watching Xiao Yang from the beginning of refining pills, extracting medicinal materials, and melting pills in a series of assessments, Feng Laro standing in the sky, a flame barrier was drawn around him to protect himself. Dan Lei is the last step in the success of refining medicine. If it is not a last resort, Feng Laro will not make a move, because once Feng Laro makes a move, Xiao Yang's assessment will also end in failure. Furthermore, on the way of refining pharmacists, Emperor rank, Immortal rank, and even Saint rank each have their own unique pill thunder tribulation. After a few breaths, the tumbling of the pitch-black thundercloud finally reached its peak. Xiao Yang saw a golden arc of lightning abruptly rush out from the pitch-black thundercloud, rushing out like a forward in a fierce army, roaring at Xiao Yang. The golden arc of thunder is extremely dazzling, like a dazzling star falling into the mortal world, with a terrifying power that destroys and destroys, and that power is enough to overwhelm mountains and destroy all things easily. It's good to come. Dragon God transformation. Seeing this, Xiao Yang smiled slightly. The dragon god transformation was displayed in his body, and Xiao Yang's muscles tightened to an extremely terrifying degree. There was no doubt that Xiao Yanguang would rely on the use of the dragon god transformation. The physical strength is enough to collapse the mountains and the ground, even if it is a head-on confrontation with the real 8-star fighting immortals. There is no problem. This kind of golden thunder arc is obviously just Lei Yun's tentative attack, so Xiao Yang did not dare to take it lightly, and chose to directly resist with his own tyrannical body and the increase of the dragon god transformation. Be prepared. Crash. When the golden arc of lightning approached Xiao Yang's body dozens of meters, it easily turned into a lightning arrow, and the sound of breaking wind was endless and buzzing. Crack. With a sound, Xiao Yang calmed down and gathered all of his strength on his fist. The dragon transformed, the power of blood boiled, and suddenly bombarded him away. What a terrifying power of thunder. The golden arrow turned into countless powders and disappeared in midair, while Xiao Yang's arm was aching faintly, and a numbness spread throughout Xiao Yang's mind. The body, this level of Dan Lei, even Xiao Yang, who has the dragon god transformation, is extremely difficult. If it is an ordinary alchemist, I am afraid that there will be no bones to be blasted. This is the 7 profound demon lightning, and it is the most terrifying pill lightning among the immortal rank alchemists. The fact that you can trigger such a terrifying pill thunder tribulation is enough to prove that you have an extremely terrifying foundation. As for surpassing the 6th rank, the pinnacle of the immortal pharmacist, and the 7th rank, that level is the color of the 7 profound demonic thunder. Divide. From 1 to 7, the 7-colored 7 profound demon thunder monkey can step into the holy rank that countless alchemists dream of. Feng Laro hurriedly explained to Xiao Yang. Dong dong dong. The golden arc of thunder in the pitch-black thundercloud was easily taken over by Xiao Yang. Those thunderclouds squirmed abruptly. Slow brewing, fermenting. The thunderclouds rolled, and the stratus clouds became even more bizarre in an instant. An extremely terrifying depression was vented directly from the thunderclouds in the sky, like the wrath of the gods, ready to punish the world with thunder. When Xiao Yang saw this, the dragon god transformation and the blood vessels in his body were boiling. He held his palm tightly. Drops of sweat appeared on his forehead. Standing up like an electric shock. "Old buddy, you seem to have forgotten me." In an instant, just as Xiao Yang was preparing to use the fire of holy flame to cooperate with the dragon god's hardening resistance, a dashing laughter and a figure flew out from Xiao Yang's soul realm, quiet. Sitting upright in front of Xiao Yang. Xiao Lei? Xiao Yang couldn't help but said in surprise. "Prepare." Xiao Lei had just appeared, and it was too late to talk to Xiao Yang. After all, the two came together as one, and naturally they had a good heart. The cumulus clouds in the sky were finally brewing, and a terrifying thunderbolt that was enough to traverse the entire small world was like a roaming head. The eagle in the sky, looking down from above, despised Xiao Yang. The efficacy contained in some high-level medicinal pills has reached the level of jealousy, so the birth of every high-level medicinal pill will be accompanied by this kind of terrifying thunder. Crash. At the beginning of Lei Wei's appearance, Xiao Yang and Xiao Lei tightened their bodies at the same time, and immediately exerted their strength to the limit, staring solemnly at the thunder beam in the sky. Boom. Lei Wei filled the air. It was more like the palace aura of an exclusive god's mansion. Just after it spread, the clouds in the sky stopped shaking instantly. After the blink of an eye, at the vortex in the center of the thundercloud, a golden thunder arc is born. It just appeared, the whole small world was completely quiet, and it seemed that it would be completely annihilated under its power in the next moment. Rumble. There is nothing like it. The speed of the golden thunder arc skyrocketed, and it fell from the sky. It was like a supreme power in the shrine, scattered with endless splendor, easily leaving the thundercloud whirlpool, passing through the void, with a stream of light. Scalp-numbing horror power is coming. Stop it. Xiao Yang and Xiao Lei looked at each other, looking at the flaming cauldron that had become a dan. The speed of the two soared, and they shot directly at it. Boom. The deafening voice was like a tidal wave of energy, which completely spread, but no matter how tyrannical this thunder was, it was slowly weakened by the cooperation of Xiao Yang and the two. It's about time. Seeing that the power of the 7 profound magic lightning was greatly reduced, Xiao Yang smiled at Xiao Lei. As soon as the voice fell, the mighty golden thunder arc was forcibly divided into 2 halves by Xiao Yang, and then slowly wrapped around the bodies of Xiao Yang and the two, and the screams of living ghosts and wolves emerged, but at the same time, Dan Lei also disappeared slowly, and even Xiao Yang's physical strength was improved to a higher level. Most importantly, after Xiao Lei absorbed these thunderbolts, Xiao Yang vaguely felt that the connection between the two of them had become weaker, and Xiao Lei seemed to have some signs of becoming independent from himself. Will be so. He really is an out-and-out lunatic. Holy Flame, the huge soul power, coupled with the soul clone, and even now chooses to absorb the thunder power of the 7 profound demon lightning to strengthen the physical power. This guy is one of the geniuses I have seen throughout the ages. The most terrifying one. Even if it is faced by the real pride of the family, I am afraid that they will not be able to obtain much benefit. I am afraid that this child will become the Taishan Bida of the refining pharmacist world in the future. Watching the sky rolling and thunder falling into Xiao Yang's body without a trace, their bodies became stronger and stronger, as hard as a mountain. The old man couldn't help but murmured. His voice was extremely gratifying. It was obvious that even she was ashamed of the talent that this guy showed as an alchemist. Boom. In the sky, Xiao Yang and Xiao Lei were continuously absorbing the 7 profound demonic lightning, and they slowly opened their eyes after a long time, but their aura and strength both skyrocketed a bit. What's more, Xiao Yang found that Xiao Lei's love for thunder power surpassed most of the power, and I am afraid that when he absorbs some power, it will mutate. Give it to me. The thunder cloud dissipated, and a dark red elixir the size of a longan in the flaming cauldron immediately exuded an endless fragrance, which was alluring. With a roar, the elixir was completely fused, and the current Fengzi Yaodan was finally successfully made in Xiao Yang's hand. Want to run? Spirit-devouring blood tablet, suppress me. Seeing that the medicinal pill had just been fused, a fearful force awakened directly from the medicinal pill itself, and Xiao Yang waved his hand to prevent the spirit of the medicinal pill from reacting. Come here, it is a complete suppression. Senior, fortunately not to be humiliated. He took out a good jade bottle, carefully placed the medicinal pills, and immediately walked towards Feng Lao. As for Xiao Lei, he returned to his soul after absorbing the 7 profound demonic lightning. In the sea, it seems that some kind of special transformation is taking place. Not bad, not bad. The medicinal pills are of high quality, and you passed the first test. Feng Lao gently took the medicinal pill in Xiao Yang's hand to identify it carefully, and then returned it to Xiao Yang after taking a good breath, and said with a smile. It has to be said that Xiao Yang's success rate and the quality of his medicinal pills have surpassed him, which makes Feng Lao vaguely ashamed, but Feng Lao is also an experienced pharmacist, and naturally he will not stick to such trivial matters. The first time you passed it perfectly, but there is still a second level, so don't be too happy. If you fail the second test, the assessment will naturally end in failure. Seeing Xiao Yang's bright smile, Feng Lao poured a basin of cold water down. I don't know what the second test is. I also ask Senior for guidance. Xiao Yang carefully put away the medicinal pills, and immediately looked at Feng Lao. The second level, it's easy to say, but difficult to say. The composition of a pharmacist, in addition to the huge soul power, flame, and perception, also requires huge fighting spirit as support. After all, every time a high-level pharmacist refines an elixir, it takes at least 10 days and a half months, and as many as several months, so strength becomes very important. We alchemists have our unique advantages, and we don't need such tyrannical combat power, but we can't be careless about some dangers and power. But because of your perfect performance in the first test, I decided to adjust the test difficulty for you. After Feng Lao finished speaking, he couldn't help but laugh. Xiao Yang heard the words, his head was full of black lines, and he even felt that he might have fallen into old Feng's scheme. The second level of the ordinary pharmacist assessment is to fight against a monster. If you persist for 3 days, you can successfully pass the level. But for you, I hope you can defeat the beasts. Don't underestimate this kind of challenge. Once you succeed in the assessment, alchemists of the same level will look at you with admiration, because this is a level hailed as a hell-style assessment by countless pharmacists. Imagine that a high-level pharmacist is also a strong man with explosive combat power. That kind of shocking power is really terrifying. How is it? Do you have confidence? Old Feng said expectantly. What's the benefit of this mode? Xiao Yang asked rhetorically. He only needs an alchemist medal to participate in the Medicine Clan Festival. If this ***** mode is not beneficial at all, Xiao Yang naturally does not need to do these thankless things. The benefit is to become the object of respect among countless pharmacists. Feng Lao deliberately said vaguely. Then Xiao Yang said with an unfinished smile. I said, boy, don't give it to my mother-in-law. That's it. Without waiting for Xiao Yang's approval, Feng Lao's body disappeared instantly, leaving only a malicious smile. For some reason, Xiao Yang felt a chill in his body and couldn't help shivering. This small world seems to be blocked and cannot be accessed. Feng Lao's masterpiece? Xiao Yang asked in doubt as he fell into the small rock world. Boom. Just when Xiao was puzzled, the whole world suddenly trembled, the ground shook, the mountains and rivers collapsed, as if the world was slowly crumbling. What's the situation? Xiao Yang only felt that the whole world was shaking, and an awe-inspiring touch appeared in his heart. I'm sorry, this is the Taishan Bida level overlord in the world of Warcraft, the Titan Mammoth? At the next moment, Xiao Yang walked slowly, but found 2 white jade stone pillars curved like a crescent moon, and immediately saw an elephant trunk like the Optimus pillar appeared in shock, suddenly raised his head, and couldn't help losing his voice. What was reflected in front of Xiao Yang was a huge face, and there was a lot of laziness in his face. It was obvious that this guy had just woken up from a deep sleep. Looking back at Duzhao, the rocky place just checked is clearly a vast area on the elephant trunk of the Titan Mammoth. Wang buzzing. At this moment Xiao Yang's pause instantly exploded, and an unprecedented palpitations swept through his heart. There are many monsters in the world of Warcraft, among which the Titan Mammoth is undoubtedly one of the most representative overlord. If it is the power of the light wheel, even the power of the 10-colored swallowing python on Kaylin's body cannot really fight against it. The Titan Mammoth in front of it is shaped like a giant elephant. It is 100 meters tall and has 4 limbs. The strength contained in the thick limbs may be enough to crush countless beasts of the same level. Its head is extremely huge, elephant trunk, above the ivory, there is an ancient fluctuation. This guy is the best representative of power. Boom. The Titan Mammoth shook, shaking its plump body weighing tens of thousands of pounds. Those khaki-colored rocks suddenly shattered, and layers of black fine long hairs emerge. The rocks just now were just a layer of rock shackles. I'm afraid this guy just didn't know where to play to be contaminated. At this moment, Xiao Yang's body was shocked, but the dragon in his body did not show anything. Involuntarily, the terrifying aura of the exclusive dragon race is undoubtedly on display. World of Warcraft giant Titan mammoth? But compared to the dragon clan standing at the top of all myriad things, what is it? Good guy. It is said that the Titan mammoth is an extremely rare species among the beasts. It is not only powerful, but also has no restraint. Under 1 foot, almost no one can survive. Ordinary Titan mammoths at the early stage of the 7-star fighting immortal stage are enough to compete with some early stage 8-star fighting immortal level humans, and this guy's strength has reached the rare 7th grade fairy rank, which is comparable to the late stage human beings of the 7-star fighting immortal stage. Even some middle and late stage powerhouses of the 8-star Yan can only choose to retreat. Xiao Yang's body moved rapidly, instantly vacated, and whispered quietly. After Xiao Yang's body left the Titan mammoth and occupied the sky, Xiao Yang just realized that this guy is simply a heavyweight creature. I am afraid that its body alone occupies half of this small world. However, Xiao Yang was also puzzled. With such a huge body, this guy naturally hindered his movement. How could this guy be called the Taishan Bida of the World of Warcraft? Boom. The Titan mammoth seemed to have just woken up, full of resentment, and its huge pupils looked at Xiao Yang, as if they were extremely interested. Soon, the doubt in Xiao Yang's heart was shattered by the Titan mammoth. Crack. With a sound, the Titan mammoth raised its forefoot and slapped it towards the void where Xiao Yang was, and a harsh sound of space explosion emerged. No, what kind of power is this? Before Xiao Yang had time to prepare, he suddenly felt that a dark shadow appeared above his head. It was an incomparably huge foot, but no matter how hard Xiao Yang struggled, he seemed unable to move, and even all the power in his body was shrouded in the black shadow of this huge foot, and instantly failed. Will this be too strict? After all, he was able to successfully refine the medicinal pills, and he already has the qualifications to succeed in the assessment. The Titan mammoth is one of the guardian beasts of our medicine clan. Feng Laro hid in the small world space and looked at Xiao Yang like this, couldn't help but said, "Tear it." With a sound, the void under Xiao Yang's feet squirmed, and at the critical moment, the space shuttle handprint came out, so he escaped the terrifying blow of the Titan mammoth without any risk. Otherwise, if he was trampled like this, I am afraid that he will get flesh and blood. Be vague. This guy doesn't look like any spiritual body, but more like a real magical beast kept in captivity. Could this be the masterpiece of the Yarrow family? Xiao Yang just fled away, and when Du appeared, his eyes couldn't help but become deep. A creature like the Titan mammoth is definitely not something that ordinary human forces can possess. I am afraid that only a giant race like the Yarrow family is qualified to keep it in captivity. The Titan mammoth didn't care about this. It had just woken up and obviously had a lot of temper. It was about to trample Xiao Yang to death, but found that Xiao Yang had escaped his attack. The child, with his elephant trunk entrenched high, his chubby body trembled and moved towards Xiao Yang. Dragon God transformation. At this moment, Xiao Yang didn't hold back, his whole body energy boiled, and the dragon god's first transformation, second transformation, and third transformation were displayed together, inspiring his physical strength to the limit. In addition to the tempering of the 7 profound demonic thunder just now, on Xiao Yang's body, there were traces of extremely dull golden lines hidden under the flesh and blood. In addition, the traces of thunder were also beating slowly, which seemed to be out of Xiao Yang's part. Tyrannical. After approaching Xiao Yang for some distance, the Titan mammoth waved its front toes again, like a terrifying Titan fist. Heaven and earth, shake heaven and earth. Tear it off. Scales of tyrant. Seeing such a terrifying punch from the Titan mammoth, Xiao Yang could no longer contain his frenzy. On his arms, the blue scales of tyrants flashed with unusually ferocious and thick power, and his palms clenched tightly. Grip, and also form a giant cyan fist wrapped by the scales of the tyrant, attacking directly at the fist of the Titan mammoth. What? This guy actually wants to hold the Titan fist of the Titan mammoth? Even if this guy has a good body refining technique, the power of a Titan mammoth is not comparable to that of an ordinary human. At this moment, Feng Laro's eyes looked extremely solemn. She would not stop Xiao Yang, but once Xiao Yang was defeated, she would immediately take action. Boom! The two fists bombarded each other, and suddenly countless voids in the entire small world sounded like glass shattering, and time and space cracks scattered uncontrollably. With a sound, the double fist attack fell, countless energy ripples scattered everywhere, and the end was a draw. The giant body of the Titan mammoth took a few dozen steps back slightly, and Xiao Yang's body was suddenly thrown from the sky by this wave. Hot explosion. Xiao Yang sneered, the speed skyrocketed, and the gorgeous flame was like a treasure, blessing on Xiao Yang's footsteps. After the blink of an eye, Xiao Yang's figure appeared, and he had arrived at the trunk of the Titan mammoth's predecessor. The blow just now made the Titan mammoth really pay attention to Xiao Yang, and immediately felt Xiao Yang's aura. His body shook violently, and a heavy aura like a 9-day star and moon pressed down on Xiao Yang. Ouch! Being suppressed by such a terrifying force, Xiao Yang's body suddenly dropped, and the giant mammoth's mouth opened slightly, as if mocking Xiao Yang for how dare a small ant like Xiao Yang dare to provoke its supremacy as the overlord of the world of Warcraft. Boom! The next moment the Titan mammoth didn't hesitate, raising both feet at the same time, taking advantage of Xiao Yang's current trap, trying to kill him with one hit. It's you who's waiting. The fist of domination. Looking at this scene, 1 second before the black shadow of the giant footsteps enveloped Xiao Yang, the cyan above Xiao Yang's arm flourished, and an illusory shadow of domination enveloped his fist, which looked extremely solid and heavy. With the addition of a dragon roar that pierced through the heavens and the earth, it suddenly appeared, and the heaven and earth paled in an instant. Hehe, little guy, this second level is considered a perfect pass for you. Just when Xiao Yang started, Feng Laro's body just emerged, and a mysterious power instantly teleported the Titan mammoth away from here. Boom! In an instant, Xiao Yang's attack hit the void of the small world, and the sound of shattering and breaking continued to emerge, and the entire space exploded in an instant. Thank you, Senior. Xiao Yang heard the words, and also put away all his strength, and said with a slight smile. The third transformation of the Dragon God transformation, the pattern of dominance, as Xiao Yang became more and more proficient, he was able to completely bless one of his arms with the force of the pattern of dominance. A punch of that level might be enough to forcefully kill a real person. The 8-star fighting immortal, but to deal with the Titan mammoth just now, at most, it will cause some serious damage. As for obliteration, it is too illusory. After all, the power of the Titan mammoth is obvious to all human beings, and Xiao Yang is also quite surprised by the mysterious atmosphere of the Titan mammoth's Titan divine fist and even the feet of the giant elephant, which can obviously be hailed as a giant in the world of Warcraft. BA still has its pride. However, at this time, Xiao Yang, who had succeeded in the assessment, naturally had no other thoughts to think about. Let's go, this space was blasted open by you with one punch, and I can no longer stay here, otherwise, once I get involved in the turbulent flow of time and space, even I can't face it. But I have to congratulate you, you have succeeded in assessing the 6th rank Heavenly Alchemist of the Immortal rank. Feng Laro's voice burst into bursts of pride, and with a big wave of his hand, he left here with Xiao Yang and headed for the original area. It was only about 20 days after entering the small world this time. In addition to the special existence of the small world, it took less than a stick of incense to pass in the outside world. And when Xiao Yang returned, some other things happened outside. Zuna and Yaro Shigui were sitting in the hall where they sat quietly, waiting for Xiao Yang to return. Not long after, the door was abruptly pushed open by 2 figures. The people who came were 2 men. The 2 men were quite handsome, but they didn't have any the reception of the medicine people, with a proud and unruly looking down attitude, is like an invisible existence of superiority. Brother, look, the woman Liu Hao said is the one in front of you. One of the men looked around and found Zuna first. Liu Hao's instructions could not help but emerge in his mind. UCS sect can also be regarded as the top forces in the entire Doyun continent except the 7 ancient clans. This time the Medicine Clan Festival, I need you to pay close attention to one person for me. Jiyu Zuna, the saint of the ancient clan, she is hidden in the snow of the ancient clan, and almost no one outsiders knows about her. I will show her portrait to the 2 of you to check, and remember to report her every move to me. After the Medicinal Clan Festival is over, our Holy See will personally give them a big gift. These are small gifts, you can use them in the Medicinal Clan Festival, and it will have a multiplier effect. Liu Hao's words are mysterious, but the 2 brothers can only choose to believe it. After all, he wants to surpass the 7 ancient clans in the sect, and he cannot do without the help of the Holy See. These 2, the elder is Shen Yi, and the second is Shen Hong, who are the strongest of the younger generation of CS sect. Moreover, the upper plane, the demarcation of the younger generation is rather vague, almost within 100 years old. After all, even a strong Do-Di has a very long life. If there is no limit of life and death, it is extremely difficult to fall. On Shen Hong's chest, a dazzling alchemist medal slowly flickered. Looking closely, a huge immortal character appeared, and 5 gold stars were surrounding him. Below the gold stars, there were 3 silver stars. Flickering abnormally. The alchemist at the pinnacle of immortal rank 5th grade heaven rank. This beautiful young lady. Shun Hong was quite elegant, pacing gently towards Zuna like a gentleman, with a soft voice. In his eyes, today's Zuna is graceful and graceful, with 3,000 blue silk swaying freely, dancing gracefully like a butterfly elf, with an indescribable immortal temperament. With such a shy fish and geese, and the shyness of the closed moon, coupled with the almost perfect jade-like immortal temperament, Shun Hong seemed to know why Liu Hao was brooding about him. Let's go, brother Xiao Yang should be out soon. Zuna didn't move, she just ignored Shun Hong's words and turned her eyes slightly, watching a stick of incense on the incense table beside the time is about to end, immediately stood up and walked back to the door with the medicine stone. The graceful body attracted countless human beings. This stinky bitch, you're actually doing this to me? I hope it doesn't fall into my hands, otherwise. Seeing this guy look like this, a trace of anger appeared in Shun Hong's eyes. He is a dignified immortal rank 5th grade heaven-ranked peak powerhouse, and has a lofty position in the CS sect. Countless women have embraced him, and it is their blessing to be able to be seen by him. How can there be such an ignorant person? Woman. Boom. Just when the violent and evil thoughts in Shun Hong's heart just started, a man in a black shirt suddenly appeared here, and then a loud slap print accompanied by bursts of hot stinging pain, stayed in Shun Hong on Hong's cheek. All of this happened between the light and the flint, causing Shun Hong and Shun Yi to have no response, and the red slap print appeared. Who is it? Get out of here. Feeling this inexplicable attack and humiliation, Shun Hong was furious and couldn't help but get angry. The incomparably fierce Fairyland soul power and his power in the early stage of the 7-star fighting immortals were undoubtedly on display. Next time something like this happens, it won't be such a simple lesson. Next time I will kill you with my own hands, refining your soul into a puppet, and suffering from horrible torment every day. Stay away from her. A terrifying breath of terror was accompanied by an extremely cold killing intention, slowly radiated from the man in the black shirt in the hall. Who are you to dare to treat me like this? I am a dignified immortal. Shun Hong's eyes froze, trying to resist Xiao Yang's attack and murderous aura, but when he saw the medal on Xiao Yang's chest, he lost his voice. A 6th grade immortal rank peak alchemist. Wait, that giant elephant. How is that possible? At this moment, a rare shock emerged in Shun Hong's heart. As a pharmacist, he is very familiar with the kind of medal on Xiao Yang's body. That is clearly a pharmacist at the pinnacle of the 6th grade immortal rank, and that giant elephant must be the product of successfully going through mode. The alchemist who can successfully pass through the mode is a monster with alchemy skills and combat power. I hope you don't do some stupid things, or you will just kill the 8 stars. You guys seem to have some familiar aura, tell that guy for me, don't beat my wife's attention, otherwise I will definitely make him regret it later. Yu Yin curled up, and Xiao Yang's figure also moved towards the outside world. This guy. Listening to Xiao Yang's series of words, Shun Hong and Shun Yi also shook their heads at the same time. He and Liu Hao should have something to do with each other. Although we need the support of the Holy See, there is no need to fight against such a strong man. You should restrain your arrogance and anger, otherwise it will bring a devastating blow to our sect. Elder Shun Yi also noticed some other things from Xiao Yang's stern warning just now, and immediately ordered road. Yes. At this moment, Shun Hong did not refute, and was surprisingly quiet. This is not like your usual you. Never mind. Let's go, I'll take you to assess the 6th rank immortal rank. As for success, it's up to you. Shun Yi shook his head and said without thinking too much. Okay. Shun Hong nodded, but he has been in a high position for a long time. It was the first time that Xiao Yang was so intimidated and humiliated. The seeds of resentment had already been planted in his heart, and Liu Hao secretly gave Shun Hong a lot of treasures. The catastrophe, I am afraid, also has a lot to do with this narrow-minded Shun Hong. The power of the Medicine Clan and the Holy See are like fire and water. The Holy See is not welcome here at all, and it is impossible to let the powerful people of the Holy See enter the Yunling Mountains. That was the catastrophe that belonged to Xiao Yang. Catastrophe or rebirth, still unknown. Brother Xiao Yang, are you alright? After a few minutes, Zuna and Xiao Yang joined forces smoothly, and Zuna also changed from the indifferent appearance just now to be like an active elf beside Xiao Yang. Even watching when he arrived at the Medal of Alchemist on Xiao Yang's chest, his face was full of smiles. Why is this fairy sister so different before and after? Yaro Shigui looked at Zuna like this and couldn't help but pouted and said, but if he knew what happened to Shenhong and Shenhong just now, he might have a different look. Let's go back to the residence first. In a few days, there will be a rare auction event in Yarawang City. It will be the last warm-up before the Yaozu festival. Let's go shopping. Xiao Yang smiled casually, and the three of them immediately joined the group. He slowly left the Alchemist Association and headed towards the mansion under the leadership of Yaro Shigui. However, Xiao Yang had just left the front foot, and the story of his back foot was passed back to the ears of the high-level Yaro clan by Feng Lao, and could not help but caused a burst of sighs, but it was because Xiao Yang was unknown, and now the Yaro clan was nervous to prepare for the medicinal clan grand ceremony. Naturally, there was no time or extra strength to come and talk to Xiao Yang. What's more, Liu Hao has already brought an extremely terrifying force in the Holy See, and divided into two teams. One team personally killed all the remains of the Soul Palace, and the other team came here, although they were because of the medicine. The clan had some connections and could not enter the Yunling Mountains, but the huge Yunling Mountains had already been surrounded by them, and with the addition of Shenhong from the CS sect as an inner response, Liu Hao was not in a hurry, because the rest was just time. The problem. Xiao Yang's residence in Medicine King City. Originally, Xiao Yang and the three of them headed towards the assigned residence under the leadership of Yaro Shigui. After Xiao Yang showed the Medal of Alchemist, the three of them were assigned a mansion with an area of 100 meters. All kinds of materials were readily available. There are still a lot of maids waiting on him. This kind of handwriting can be said to be envious of others, but after watching it, outsiders can only secretly smack their tongues. After all, the identity of the 6th grade alchemist of the immortal rank is enough to shock most of the powerhouses. There are still 5 days before the auction starts. Xiao Yang has been preparing the funds for the auction these days. After all, you don't have to think about it. The items auctioned in the Yaozu auction are absolutely unparalleled, so the funds needed it is no longer as simple as the number of gold coins, and many things are carried out at the price of barter. However, after some searching, Xiao Yang couldn't help but his eyes darkened. Obviously, there were very few things that he could get his hands on, so he was ready to take a look at it. This young man is quite smart, which makes Zuna quite doting, and because Xiao Yang and Zuna love so much, Yaro Shigui can also feel that the two are kind to him from the bottom of his heart, so some little secrets in his heart are slowly surfaced. The third night. Brother Xiao Yang, I don't see any changes in Yaro Shigui's body in the past 3 days. Could it be that you are worrying too much? Zuna hasn't bothered Xiao Yang too much these past few days, and since moving in here, Xiao Yang has instructed Yaro Shigui to take stricter care of him. It seems that this young man makes Xiao Yang quite worried. I carefully investigated the Emperor Yang ring to no avail, but I think this guy has a lot of secrets in his body. We can't wait until the day he becomes an adult. I'm worried that something will happen, so we must let him devour that pill in advance. Xiao Yang said. But will there be any sequelae in that way? Zuna also wondered. No, find a time today or tomorrow. Xiao Yang said. Before Xiao Yang could finish his words, there was a knock on the door. Yes. As the knock on the door sounded, Xiao Yang and Zuna looked at each other, and fierce killing intent emerged. Although this is the Yao Wangcheng, there is no guarantee that some ignorant people will secretly shoot. Big brother, sister fairy, it's me. Yaro Shigui outside the door looked extremely ugly, his face was pale and weak, and drops of cold sweat kept emerging, and even the corners of his mouth became ice purple. What's the matter? Xiao Yang pushed open the door and saw Yaro Shigui's situation. He couldn't help frowning. He immediately grabbed his wrist and sent in a steady stream of fighting chi. In addition, the power of his soul emerged. The abnormality of medicine stone returning to the body. However, Xiao Yang's vindictive energy did not resolve the situation of the medicine stone returning to his body, but aggravated it, and the search for his soul power was fruitless. Big brother, sister fairy, I have an old problem. Let's go, I'll take you to a place. Yaro Shigui was trembling all over, and barely squeezed out a few words. Let's go. Xiao Yang and Zuna looked at each other, and immediately they supported Yaro Shigui and slowly left the mansion. They poured into a deserted street, and immediately left Yarawang City through a very hidden secret passage. This secret passage is extremely narrow, and looking at the secret passage without cobwebs, it is obvious that there are traces of many years, and according to Xiao Yang's investigation, it seems that there is a faint breath of Yuroshigi in the secret passage. But other than that, there is no other aura. This secret passage should be known to Yaro Shigui. Where is this? After about an hour, Xiao Yang and the two left Yarawang City under the leadership of Yaro Shigui, and came to a rather strange place. Just after leaving the dark passage, what appeared in the sight of the two of them was a mountain top. The top of the mountain was surrounded by clouds and mist. A bronze statue slowly stood on it. The bronze statue was like an old man refining medicine. UU reading www.ukanshu.com's eyes and all attention were focused on a medicine tripod not far from the bronze statue. And around the bronze statue and the rock-shaped medicine cauldron, an ancient green ripple is like a formation, which is perfectly hidden and shrouded, with a very ancient and long-lasting aura. This is, what place? Xiao Yan couldn't help muttering. Big brother, sister fairy, this is a certain peak in the Yunling Mountains. As for what is in front of me, I don't know, but there is always a voice in my mind calling me to come here. Yarrow Shigue's body was still ill, and he slowly uttered a few words. Go in. Xiao Yang looked around, and immediately determined that there was no suspicious person. He brought Yoroshigi and Zuna with him and stepped into the mountain top and the flat ground in one fell swoop. As soon as he stepped into this place, the situation of Yoroshigi suddenly improved. At the same time, a rare green energy in his body slowly overflowed, and immediately poured into the bronze statue not far away. This is a hidden mountain top in the Yunling Mountains. The top of the mountain touches several hundred meters of flat ground, but the bronze statue and the green medicine tripod reveal endless mystery. It is completely isolated from the outside world by a terrifying formation. Come on, just the rare life force in the air here is full of vitality, and it is shocking to hear it. Here, it seems to be a bit like the graveyard of some powerful people in the medicine clan. But every powerhouse in the ancient race will be sent to their own tombs by the powerhouses in the ancient race after they fall, and there is no chance to survive in the outside world. It's really strange, slim, and the surrounding green energy is also quite sacred, and the beautiful eyes are constantly turning, looking at this mountain top covered by the formation, and muttered. This is a secret place that only I know. I have been frail and ill since I was a child, but no matter what illness I have, as long as I come here, I will be able to cure it. And there's always a lingering voice in my mind telling me that the secret is probably hidden in the bronze statue and the medicine cauldron. Unfortunately, my strength is too weak to open it at all. Big brother, sister fairy, please help me. Yarrow Shigue's eyes earned the boss, and he finally revealed the secret that he had been hiding in his heart. During these few days, Yarrow Shigue was also with the two of them. I found a trace of a long-lost relative feeling on my body, so I told the little secret that was in my heart. Don't worry, elder sister and elder brother will help you. Zuna said with a slight concern. Go back a little bit, I'll take a look. Xiao Yang stared at the bronze statue in front of him, and then walked over step by step. When I came to the bronze statue just now, I didn't find anything. The whole body of the bronze statue was carved naturally, and I couldn't detect any flaws at all. Boom. With a sound, Xiao Yang's whole body ignited with an amber flame, which easily covered the bronze statue. At that time, the copper statue that had been quiet all the time suddenly trembled, and the pieces of copper slowly shattered and fell off. With a sound, the bronze statue shattered, and a dark passage appeared at the foot of the broken bronze statue. I don't know where it leads, but there is another mystery. This is exactly the same as the dream I had. Follow me. At this moment, Yarrow Shigue seemed to have remembered something, and was quite surprised, and then his figure jumped into the dark passage. The scene in front of him was exactly the same as the dream he often dreamed of in the past, but the dream was extremely vague, and there was no record of the secret passage under the bronze statue, so Yarosha was so anxious to return. Yarrow Shigue didn't believe that both his parents died. He always felt that there might be another mystery in the matter, and the secret should be hidden below. He lost his inch for a while, and shot directly at it. Follow up, be careful of the danger below. Xiao Yang nodded and entered with Zuna. Xiao Yang's soul power faintly felt a good terrifying energy below. The level of that energy was definitely 8. The Xingduxian level is even comparable to Zuna. Zuna was in front and Xiao Yang was behind. Xiao Yang's eyes looked around at all times with vigilance. In addition to the protection of the formation around the mountain top and the countless vibrant auras, Xiao Yang decided that this place was probably a treasure. Xiao Yang suppressed his breath, and even his breathing became extremely light, and his footsteps slowly walked towards the secret passage below. The passage below the bronze statue is clearly like a vast cave. The cave is covered with dust and weeds. Obviously, there are traces covered by many years. However, Xiao Yang can also conclude that the things below will be preserved. Very complete. What a weird place. There are some strong life breaths all around, and even some of the weeds here are extraordinarily fat. I am afraid that after absorbing some years, they will all transform into congregational spirits. The two followed the medicine stone and returned to the cave everywhere. After the ramps, a small valley with a fairly wide area appeared in front of the two of them. In the center of the cave, this is a rare small valley. The valley is like a layer of cumulus clouds, surrounded by lush trees and weeds that reveal a strange atmosphere, and above the cumulus clouds in the valley, a group of gray light flickered slightly, and every flickering of it would bring an extremely majestic vitality. It seemed that it was the treasure here. Stop, there is definitely something weird here. Just after entering here, Xiao Yan noticed that the temperature around him had suddenly dropped, and immediately a wave of awe-inspiring fluctuations filled his heart, and he couldn't help roaring at Yaroshigi. But facing Xiao Yang's roar, Yaroshigui seemed to have lost his mind, ignoring the dangers and hidden dangers hidden here, and went straight to the grey light on the cumulus clouds in the valley. Brother Xiao Yang. Zuna rolled her eyes, naturally aware of the strangeness here. Protect him. Xiao Yang's body was as fast as a ghost. The void around him suddenly split open, and his body was submerged in it. When Du appeared, he had already come to Yaroshigui's side, stunned him and brought him back. It seemed that the actions of Xiao Yang and Yaroshigui had just disturbed some terrifying creature, and the roars of eerie monsters filled the entire valley. At that time, in the entire valley, countless trees, weeds, and even the soil will quietly crawl down. They seem to be welcoming some kind of terrifying creature's revival, and the entire valley will suddenly become dark, and you can't see your fingers. Come on, get out of here. Feeling the strong wind, Xiao Yang turned his head and roared at Zuna. Before clarifying the matter, don't make extra troubles. All roads are blocked, it will take a minute to crack. Zuna said with a vigilant look. It seems that this is a test. Xiao Yang shook his head slightly when he heard the words, his entire body became brighter, and the amber flame slowly rose, illuminating the entire dark valley. On the edge of the circular cumulus cloud in the center of the valley, a silver creature with a body size of dozens of meters was majestic and majestic. The huge beast's eyes contained a touch of contempt and bloodthirsty intent to stare at them, making them shocked. www.telnovel.com. The hairs all over the body stand up involuntarily, as if facing the enemy. It was a magical beast, a creature with extremely thick silver hair. It exuded a tyrannical oppression and a sense of strength. Its heavy breathing even carried a trace of dust, deep-colored beast eyes, and silver hair. Looking at its body, it looks exactly like a human being. With healthy limbs, hands, feet, eyes, and nose, if it weren't for the silver hair all over his body, it would be extremely difficult to tell the difference from humans. This is the Titan among the three Titans, Xiao Yang said, looking at the creature in front of him, and said with great surprise. Even just relying on the thick aura emanating from this guy, Xiao Yang clearly sensed a titanic mammoth that was not inferior to the Titan mammoth he encountered in the previous assessment of the alchemist. In the Yarrow clan, he encountered the Titan mammoth and the Titan giant 2 times in succession. Xiao Yang did not believe that this was accidental. Obviously, the appearance of these 2 giants may have some subtleties with the Yarrow clan relation. A crazy thought lingered in Xiao Yang's mind. For example, for some shady conspiracy, the Yarrow family raised or cultivated Titan mammoths and Titan giants in the shadows of Yunling Mountains. This video will end here.